innovative work with coral. They actually grow coral, and they are the beneficiaries of the Earthshot Prize, which was launched by Prince William and Sir David Attenborough in 2020. Now, we will be going live to our Shoshana Rowe-Farquharson in just a few minutes, who is there on the ground. We will take you live now to Shoshana. Shoshana?
Good afternoon, Julian, and good afternoon, Bahamas. We are right in the crux of everything, as the Duke and Duchess would have just arrived just a few minutes ago. Right now, they are entering Coral Vita here on the island of Grand Bahama, and they are officially being welcomed by the officials of Coral Vita, as well as members of Waters Keepers Bahamas, Rupert Hayward of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, environmentalists like Joe Darville, as well as the Bahamas National Trust and the Blue Action Lab, and they are really excited to be here. As you probably know already, Coral Vita won the Duke's inaugural Earthshot Prize, which supports innovative solutions to the climate crisis. Now, the Earthshot competition was launched last year to search for ways to tackle the problems facing the planet, and 5 winners were selected and awarded $1 million. And they are moving rather swiftly. Just now entering, and of course being educated a little bit more on Coral Vita and exactly what this means, not just to Grand Bahama, but of course to the Bahamas and tackling climate change.
The family, supporters, and friends, so we really couldn't do this without the people of the Bahamas and a lot of scientists around the world, so lots of folks here. But we're now going to hear from Alana, who's going to basically tell you why Coral Vita exists.
Hi, just in case you forgot, my name is Alana Bellicott, and I'm the coral restoration specialist here at Coral Vita. And as a ground Bahamian, I grew up with the privilege of having the ocean as the backdrop to my childhood. I grew up in a community that neighbored a mangrove creek system with subsistence neighbors as my fishermen, and the bounty of the coral reef filled their fridge, powered their homes, sent their children to school, and those children and I became best friends, and as God would have it, one of them is now my coworker here, Samantha Rose, and you will meet her shortly on your tour. But as kids, we were swimming around in the ocean and in the mangroves, and as we dove down, these reefs would tower over our bodies and swallow us up in their colors and in just their scores and schools of marine life. But though Sammy and I grew taller and older and beautiful, the reefs that grew up alongside us did not. The reefs that we once knew, that we played in, that fed us, that took us to school, are now unrecognizable and are flattened and collapsed. The Mangrove Creek system that we swam in and explored are now wilted, blocked due to coastal development. This tragedy is not exclusive to the Bahamas. This is a global issue. We have lost 50% of the world's reefs within the last decade, and we are slated to lose 90% by the year 2050. And just a reminder, it's the year 2020. That date is soon. My life story, Sammy's life story, is a real-life example as to why reefs are so important and as to why we just cannot afford to lose this valuable asset. They power our economies. They fill our bellies. They're an intrinsic part of Bahamian culture and of the culture of global people around the world that live in coastal regions. They provide food for millions of people, and they're our medicine cabinets. And though here at Coral Vita we're solving to restore the world's dying coral reefs, we need leaders like you, as well as government officials, to actively work on climate change to solve the climate crisis. Bahamians especially, all of you, are especially vulnerable to climate change as they make hurricanes stronger and more frequent. Sammy and I lost our home to Hurricane Dorian. Grand Bahamians and Abaconians also lost their homes and friends and family members. Coral Vita also faced the brunt of that storm, and there's no better person to tell that story other than Joe Oliver over here.
Thank you, Alana. Good afternoon, Your Majesties. Nice to meet you. Pleasure to welcome you to the farm. So the reason I'm here to talk to you about hurricanes, specifically Hurricane Dorian, And the reason that I'm probably the best fit, I was born during a hurricane, and this was number 10 for me. As you can see, if you look at the sign above my head, this farm was built with climate resilience and sea level rise in mind, and that's still the level that the storm came to. And fortunately for Sam and I, we had some better sense than to try and stay here and ride out the storm at the farm. As you can see from that sign, we would have had a very interesting ride, to say the least. So hurricane frequency and intensity has been increasing, at least in measurable time. The impacts on coastal ecosystems are massive, and the impacts on coastal demographics are huge because so many people live within just a narrow margin of the coastline. So after Hurricane Dorian, our farm was decimated. You'll see and hear stories about that later on. And the reason you're here is to help restore reefs and their ability to thus dampen some of those impacts and changes. We ended up being the tip of the spear when it came to relief efforts for the first couple of weeks after Hurricane Dorian before we switched gears back to doing what we do best, which is restoring reefs.
We opened the farm in March 2020, just in time for COVID.
That's an incredible height.
17 feet.
And it really underscores the importance of what brought us here in the first place. Is we saw the mangroves and the coral reefs protect people's lives, literally save lives by acting as those natural barriers and seawalls. And so we could only really double down our efforts and rebuild the farm better than it was before to continue doing the work that we do best in restoring reefs.
So I will show you that work. Is this some of the damage here?
Yeah.
Is this you here?
This is Joe. This is one of our coral tanks. We were just like 3 or 4 days after the storm, as soon as the waters get clear. And Joe, he just said, I think that's one of our tanks. And it's been such a day from the beach on 35 miles east. And that's Joe right there pulling it out. So this is the farm torn up. There's gator, and we lost more corals during it too. And you can see the satellite image of Great Bahama. That's in yellow. That's 80% of the island.
So we'll move right this way to see the work we're doing to restore.
I know. I'm gonna move.
Well, before we walk away, we also thought you.
Oh, look. Yeah, there it is. Quite a place.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is where you were. We spoke.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we were
the hotel.
Pardon me?
Better service there, but it's a real honor. It's great to have you guys here and excited to show you what we're doing in the tank.
Did a good job with it. You put us somewhere good. Well done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Come on, bro.
Again, now we are moving over to the area where the growth of these corals are really supported, and the Duke and Duchess will also be given a tour on this portion.
Coral restoration technicians, so Grand Bahamians, and we're going to learn a bit more about what we're doing here in the tanks and all around the farm.
So welcome, Your Royal Highnesses, to our land-based coral farm. Here we are able to accomplish much more than we would be able to with just an ocean nursery alone. We're able to grow more corals, more species of corals, and much faster. What you're seeing right now is basically the spa treatment that we can give to corals. So we're able to control everything from light to temperature to flow to really give them the best conditions in order for them to grow. As I'll show you later, we can also, instead of bringing them to the spa, take them to the gym and subject them to a number of stressors that can help to stress harden them and essentially push along the path of assisted evolution so that corals under future climate change scenarios can survive and regrow the reefs. In here, we currently have...
So are you saying that also, because the climate's changing so fast, that it's not having a time to adapt? What you're doing is you're creating it in a faster time period?
Exactly. Very well said.
Right.
So right now in this tank, we have 7 different species of native Caribbean corals, all of which are extremely important to reef communities. There are some endangered and critically endangered species here, and it's important that we're cultivating a diversity of corals for regrowing reefs. One of the reasons we're able to grow so many more corals than typical other reef restoration groups is through the process of micro-fragmentation, which Nick and Tyreek will tell you about.
Yeah, so as my colleague will show you in a second, these coral we microfrag, we put them on the plug, and over time when we're confident that they've grown to a certain size, we put them on these cookies here. Through the fragmenting process, you have a healing factor that comes in, and they actually grow a lot quicker. It's an open source process that wasn't developed by us, but one of our main advisors showed us. But in terms of
unlocks all of these different coral species when they start fusing into themselves. And as the corals get cut up into these little pieces, we also then have to take care of them. So Tyreek is going to show one of the simple processes of being a coral gardener using the very high-tech toothbrush.
One of the biggest jobs after the coral meter is basically cleaning. So basically what we do is we just go gently around and we try to keep the surface extreme as clean as possible so that they can grow and be happy on that surface so that we can then cut off and stick on it.
And so when you brush it, what are you cleaning off?
We are cleaning off all of the algae and all of, like, basically anything like algae that shouldn't be there.
That slows the growth, is that right?
Yeah.
And how long does it take to grow? So are these sort of the starting, are these the same character?
Actually, yeah, all of these are the same species. The normal growth rate will be estimated about like normally it's all like probably about 70 or but since they've been here, they've actually been taking I'd say about 2 months.
So with the micro-fragmenting, we can have a cutting as small as the little pieces there. Within about 6 months, put them onto the cookie, and in a year, have one of these full kind of hand size.
Really? A year before you get that?
But with some of these species here, again, most coral restoration projects just grow the branching corals. They grow naturally fast, but a lot of these bouldering and encrusting species, to grow from the size of one of these plugs to this
So they've
size,
grown and then mold just
they'll fuse in. So you can see this one was cut, and it's just already healing over itself.
Wow.
That could have taken years to grow that fast in nature, but
how you see it like it's wrapping around. So
Exactly.
Give it a
Your
shot,
name
so
tag for it.
yeah.
That's so clever. So yeah, and the temperature of the water is kept deliberately the same temperature, or is it?
we can adjust it as kind of Katie was alluding to. We can make sure the corals basically have what they need to be healthy, but also can think what are the temperature projections for the future. They stress harden the corals so that they can better survive when they get out there.
And is some easier to grow than others? So are these much easier to grow than some of the other species?
And each coral could be easier than its neighbor, even if they're from the same species. They're definitely independent. They're independent animals.
Amazing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Fascinating. Really, really.
I'll just say that with myself and Tyreek and Nick, since you're both patrons of your respective rugby unions, we got some rugby players here.
Oh, is there? Really? You're Speedy Man?
I'll get back.
Good man.
Of course, just given a very informative lesson on the growth of corals here at Coral Vita is Sam, and he's continuing to educate the Duke and Duchess on exactly what it takes to make an organization like this work.
This is a night dive tank where we can simulate the conditions that actually either bring out different creatures or even different colors you see.
And they're coming to where you are right now, so you need to get way out the way, over there, that way.
And of course, we are being moved by the officials, and of course that is because they are making their way to this area. We will continue to stay as close as we possibly can to get an interactive side of this tour.
And so Ashiko is a graduate at the Bahamas Agricultural Marine Science Institute. He's from Anjos. Sammy grew up with Alana, as we heard before, and can tell you firsthand how reefs and mangrove forests actually protect us from storm surge and erosion.
Welcome to our wave tank. It's kind of an isolated area to show them how the waves work with and without the coral reef themselves, not and coupled with mangroves that will actually reduce the investment up to 97%. So, for research,
mangroves as well?
Yes. With them and the mangroves and the coral reefs, up to 97% of wave energy can be reduced. Over here you can see it's difficult to see, but this end on this wave is way more destructive to the land than the one over here, breaking on the reef and then push through. This just holds the sediment and kind of the shoreline together with its root system.
And it's particularly the roots of the mangroves that go down the devil, just join together.
Everything together and create nursery systems for everything else. But mainly they're the roots and holding the fabric of the shoreline together so it doesn't go out to sea.
Are you using this as an educational tool? Do lots of the youngsters sort of understand the importance of climate change?
Yeah, this has been kind of the key area that they come to touch things, but this is an area where they can see how destructive a wave is without taking them to an area that's very scary, and you don't want to take them to risks. Very key in showing them how important the coral reef is.
Shigo helps run this whole system. He's actually started off as an intern through a government project and then is now getting trained to run our aquaculture system, which is one of the most state-of-the-art coral restoration on the planet. And you could very briefly walk them through how we maybe pump water through the canal to make this all happen.
So our system is a semi-closed system, meaning that we get water from the canal. It comes to our system out here. It goes back. We're using the same water that comes from here, clean it with a skimmer, and we use it to pump back to the system. Even though we're supplying it with fresh water from the canal, it's still a semi-closed, not a completely closed system.
Covering every base there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then from the standpoint of the mangroves, what we're actually going to do now is we're going to make our way over to a community-led mangrove nursery. A few years. Just a few years we can have mangroves that are able to... 2, 3 years. Several.
Of course, the tour here continuing at Coral Vita. The Governor General, His Excellency C.A. Smith, also now joining this tour. And of course, it continues to show the intricate details of what it takes to assist in combating climate change, and that is really what this tour is all about, growing the coral reefs and then eventually placing them back into the ocean.
Yes, that's really what coral reefs are all about, why we find it.
Great respect. They're now transitioning over to where a mangrove farm is, and that is where members of Waters Keepers Bahamas and the Coral Vita team are being led, as well as a delegation from Grand Bahama that is comprised of government ministers. The media also being allowed to kind of walk and have an opportunity to embrace this tour along with the Duke and Duchess. Some of the events would have been private and closed. This one is, of course, completely open to the media. And, of course, that is because it is being done for educational purposes as well.
I'd enjoy it.
Yeah. 20 years ago.
I think that's a really good. When Raleigh Roofer started,
Of course, this area is the mangrove farm, and the Duke and Duchess are being introduced to the team here at Coral Vita, who are also making the introductions and talking about the importance of mangroves.
We'll be able to come and visit and see the mangroves that are starting off in our nursery.
There are some things that she wanted to point out too. I think there was.
So here are some of the species that begin in the mangroves: lemon sharks, sea turtles, snassel groupers, and so many more. So we're replanting them because they serve as such an important nursery to our marine life.
I've seen a few bloopers in the last few days. That's good. Probably trying to make us eat them.
Right. Well, only if the season is open, right? And this is Diaja Archer.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I am Diaja Archer, a student of the Youth Environmental Ambassadors, and I am here to tell you the amazing experience I had while planting these mangroves. They ended up from a propagator to a plant. It has been such an amazing experience because they help protect our land from natural disasters. Please spend another moment with us and plant a few mangrove propagules at our planting station.
They are now moving over to the mangrove station.
Go around,
Take out a huge ball. A lot of these propagules don't make it. So by taking them through that nursery stage, you can have much.
Most of these are
Why would they make it? Why don't they make it?
They don't
This is
land
Zaria
right
Ingram.
Hi, Zaria. Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the planting station.
Thank you.
I'm Zaria Ingram. I'm also a student at the Youth Environmental Ambassador program. And I would like to just invite you to come and make a permanent mark in our restoration of the Propagule project and plant the propagule with Uncle Jones.
Thank you for this.
Super. Nice to see you.
And the Duke and Duchess, of course, they have been invited to plant their own mangroves led by environmentalist Joe Darville, as well as young Mr. Ingram, who is a part of one of the ecosystem programs here on Grand Bahama.
And then the new ones will start forming.
Right.
This is a baby already, and that's a root
So these are about 2 to 3 months old.
2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
And think of that. Some of this kind of soil recovery. You want to put your hand in there? It's nice.
Everything has to be
You can take.
It's much easier.
That's what I do. I think I'm one of the things.
The Duke and Duchess, of course, getting their hands a little bit dirty, and it is all for a good cause. They are planting mangroves here at Coral Vita. In just a little bit, they have another exciting part of this tour that we will tell you about in just a few minutes. But what you really have here is something special, something that the Duke himself has used his platform for many years, to talk about the importance of really tackling climate change. And we firsthand here in the Bahamas know the impact of climate change, not just since Hurricane Dorian, but hurricanes before then, Grand Bahama and Abaco, 2 islands, though, who have struggled over the past 2 years as a result of the deadly storm. And here we are today at Coral Vita, a place that is trying to really do its part to tackle climate change. And this, of course, is significant because the Duke continues to talk about it. He has done so at the COP26 in Glasgow, and so has the Prime Minister. They have just recently wrapped up the planting of these mangroves, and of course they're having a conversation now. We're not as close as we were before, and so we can't really hear exactly what they are saying, but by the smiles on their faces we can tell that they are definitely enjoying this part of the tour.
Enjoy. Thank you so much.
I like that.
It's vital work that you guys are doing. Yeah, really well done. Keep spreading the word. Your voice is
And Coral Vita is a mission-driven company dedicated to restoring dying reefs with a vision to create a global network of projects to sustain reefs in the future. And they have started by creating the world's first land-based commercial coral farm for restoration located right here in Freeport, Grand Bahama, using cutting-edge technology. Again, they would have won the Earthshot competition, which was launched last year, and that competition is an initiative by the Duke. It was his inaugural Earthshot Prize, which supports innovative solutions to climate crisis.
We gotta go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Josh.
No, even okay, I think they're going on the boat now.
The Duke and Duchess now getting ready to leave Coral Vita, but of course, based on what we understand, this tour is expected to end by their Royal Highnesses removing some of the coral that is grown here, and then go on a snorkeling mission where they will place the coral back into the reef. And I'm pretty sure that that is something that they are looking forward to. Right to the left of me, they should be heading right to the left, and that is where that process will take place once again. It is expected for them to remove some of the coral grown here and then change and go on a snorkeling mission where they will place that coral back into the ocean. And of course, the Duke is very passionate when it comes to climate change. At the COP26 Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, he highlighted the urgent need for action when it comes to tackling this crisis. If you don't know, this is how significant this is right here. The Bahamas is among one of the top 10 most vulnerable island nations in the world due to climate change. And of course, we know that we are not the cause of this crisis. And so every effort, every collaborative effort, every time we have an opportunity to be on the world stage, as we are, we have to continue to promote to world leaders why it is important to tackle this issue, because we know what happened in 2019 with Hurricane Dorian. We know that future storms, if they should come, can be even worse than what we experienced in 2019. And so all of this is about promoting climate change, and something that the Duke himself has been very passionate about. Now, right to the left of me, you will also see the Royal Bahamas Police Force waiting to escort them. The Duke and Duchess, of course, expected to take off in just a few minutes. The crowd here already starting to clear out, and this would be the last visit of the day here on Grand Bahama. Of course, they came after having wonderful celebrations in New Providence and then going to Abaco to see firsthand the devastation of Hurricane Dorian in Abaco. They came here to meet with the children at the Grand Bahama Children's Home. And now to something that the Duke himself and the Duchess takes very personal. And so again, there we have it. They are now taking off. The Royal Bahamas Police Force following just in front of them. There's another boat to the right. Of course, as we would have mentioned a little earlier, the plan is to take some of the coral from here. They will then go, change, get into some snorkeling gear, and then plant those corals back into the ocean. Certainly a packed day for the Duke and Duchess. As they leave, they are expected to head back into New Providence later on this evening, where that will wrap up their 3-day tour in the Bahamas. Many persons have said it, they have saved the best for last. I will say it myself. They have certainly saved the best for last after going to Jamaica and then going to Belize, traveling to New Providence, having that cultural experience in New Providence, and then more sobering activities as they travel to Abaco and visiting the church in Abaco, having an opportunity to meet with the residents there, and then coming to Grand Bahama Bahama, where they had an opportunity to speak with the children, and now at Coral Vita, a place where they have personally invested as part of their nonprofit organization to the regrowth of corals. That is going to do it for us here in Grand Bahama. On behalf of our entire team, we're sending it back to you, Julian.
You know, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come back right after that.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibility.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Well, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, as they wrap up their tour of the Caribbean and, of course, the Bahamas, are on their final event right now. They're actually going out snorkeling, and they are going to plant some coral and also some mangrove. Of course, those things are crucial not just for the environment of the Bahamas, but also crucial for the planet. Well, as I said, they're going snorkeling. And we have this feature report from Jiminita Swain, who spoke to a painter who put some special touches on the fins that they're using for snorkeling.
Alan Pacino Wallace, pretty much a household name in the artistic world, working with elements such as salt, coffee, and acrylics to make his virtual pieces come to life. He will bring those skills to life this weekend in two ways for the royal visit. First, he will paint the snorkel gear of the royals. He shared some thoughts on what he wanted it to look like.
First of all, it's an honor, man. I really appreciate the opportunity. You know, I'm glad they called. You know what I mean? It's a great opportunity. So I want to create something warm, something represent the country, you know, the beauty, you know, all of that stuff in one. As far as the actual design, I don't have that yet, but I'm brainstorming on that, and I'm sure, you know, something beautiful is going to come.
From there on Friday is a gala at Bahama. Alan will do a live painting, but is he nervous?
I'm not nervous about the live. Looking forward to the live. You know, I'm used to freestyling, you know, and I also, you know, look to the golf inspiration when I'm painting live. You know, it's always a jumping out of parachute for me. You know what I mean? Fly or die. So that kind of nervous energy of what's coming is cool.
He admits feeling the room will allow him to produce his piece. However, he can't say what it will look like at this point.
I don't know exactly what's going to come, but I know, you know, I wanted it to be something special, first of all, something memorable. The exact image, I probably won't have, you know, until I get there. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully it's received and it goes over well.
For now, he says he's just happy to be a part of such a momentous occasion.
It's definitely a special thing. You know, I'm a kid who grew up, you know, west of Fleming Street. You know what I mean? Very humble beginnings. And, you know, my grandfather used to always tell me, you know, my gift will make room for me. There's a quote in the Bible that speaks on that. And it was cool to see it, you know, happening, you know, on that level. You actually watch the word come alive, you know what I'm saying? And it's been happening, you know, for most of my life. And, you know, for it to get to that point, you know, it's a very special thing, you know, very humbling.
Well, we hope to see those fins, but undoubtedly it will be something that the Duke and Duchess will treasure for years to come. We will take a break before we recap and wrap up this broadcast.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibility.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Of the Bahamas. Fly away.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibility.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
What? Check little girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man. Not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Of the Bahamas. Fly away.
that creek runs in from the ocean into the Inagua National Park.
Using this location, researchers from the Archie Carr Center at the University of Florida have learned a great deal about sea turtles.
Welcome back. As we continue this broadcast and bring it to a close, we're going to go back to Grand Bahama, where Shashina Roll Farquharson has been following the Royals as they participate in a snorkeling adventure.
Talk a little bit
She
about
has
what
more
it meant
right
to
now.
be, in Abaco and here in Grand Bahama.
It was a good day. We were able again to showcase our art, our culture, the warmth and resilience of our people. And I think that's the message from the last few days of the Duke and the Duchess visit here. We wanted to demonstrate the quality and the pride of the Bahamian people, and I believe we've done that. I want to thank everyone for really being very supportive of this visit. We're a tourism destination, and we wanted to show what a Bahamian welcome is all about, and I think we did just that. I want to say a special thank you to all of the people, Leslie Miller and P.S. Jack Thompson and everyone who's been involved. I think we couldn't have asked for it to go smoother. I was happy today to come to Coral Vita, though. Coral Vita is something special. I'm coming back. I'm bringing my children. We are bringing our children to go back to Coral Vita because it's really just exceptional what they're doing. And really it speaks to many of the things that our Prime Minister has been talking about. Preservation of the environment, climate change. These are kinds of things that if we get buy-in very early from the youngsters, we're not going to have the type of environmental challenges for the future. And it's a great tourist spot as well. I think we can craft it into a good tour, and hopefully we can get more of the cruise passengers off the ships and here to Coral Vita, but stopping in the Port Lucaya marketplace as well. I think that's absolutely key, and we're going to be working on that, but I think this is a great draw.
CPM Cooper, I know that you are getting ready to leave, but the amount of people who are here are still waiting on the Duke and Duchess, and of course when they saw you, they also wanted to take some pictures with you, and they were excited that you came out and you stopped and you spoke with them. Talk a little bit about that.
So many fine people here from Grand Bahama who are very excited to be out today. And I thought I'd stop and say hello. I really enjoyed it, quite frankly. The level of excitement in the air after some devastating times of Dorian and COVID. It's good to see people out again. It's good to see people excited again. And there's some great things in store for Grand Bahama. We're working hard for the Bahamian people to create some opportunities and even more excitement. So the excitement and the buzz that I feel in the air today, I hope will continue through some of the things that the government of Bahamas is doing for Grand Bahama. It's Grand Bahama's time.
It is Grand Bahama's time. And just one final question, DPM. We are hearing all over after Belize and Jamaica, the Duke and Duchess really saved the best for last. What do you say about that?
I say they're spot on. This couldn't have been better planned, and I think they will go home on a high. We showed them true Bahamian hospitality, and we understand the entire trip has not been smooth for them, but they are going to go home talking about the Bahamas, raving about the Bahamas, and they will say it's truly better in the Bahamas.
It's certainly truly better in the Bahamas. We have so many people out there. Just look at this crowd that has continued to grow, and even though they know that the Duke and Duchess have gone on a snorkeling tour, they made the decision to continue to stay here. What about you? I see you have your British flag, your Bahamian flag. Talk a little bit about why it is important for you to stay, even if it's just for a wave to the Duke and Duchess.
Well, it's because my late father, Normandy, hero, and my mother hailed the Queen here when she opened the courthouse in 1994, and we've been coming to this grand Bahama Island since before independence, and we love the Bahamian people, and we love the British people, and may God save the Queen.
And just before we go, we also want to kind of take you, there are some signs. Just show us your sign for a second. We love you, Duke Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and this is from the Philippines. Why was it important for you to be here today?
We just want to see the Duke and Duchess because they are so nice people, and we're just here to see them.
Yeah. Awesome. And I hope that they, I saw a sign earlier today, Julian, that says, please stop by and say a wave to us. We don't know if that is actually going to happen, but I think for a lot of the persons here, just getting a wave is good enough for them. Of course, my cameraman, Roger, and Quentin Gordon, they would have done a tremendous job on this side, ensuring that we would have gotten all of the good video for our viewing audience. And I want to say before we end this broadcast, no one covers the Bahamas better. Signing out from ZNS Northern Bahamas, back to you guys in studio.
Thank you, Shashina. Yes, and what a three-day event this has been. Of course, the Royals will actually return to the capital and then later tonight return to the United Kingdom. But it's been an event-filled time, and I'm sure they've been excited by it and have enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm sure many of you have enjoyed it thoroughly. And let's have a little recap about how it started. On Thursday afternoon at 4:30, the Voyager aircraft touched down at Lyndon Pindling International Airport. The Royals were met by the armed forces, the Defense Force, the Police Force, the Governor General, other high-ranking members of government. The Duchess, as she has been doing in the previous parts of this tour, arrived in a dress that was reflective of one of the colors of our national flag, the aquamarine. The Prince inspected the guard and also got a salute at a certain point during this period. This here, as you can see, they are talking to the Governor General and his wife, and off they zipped in an electric car, a Build Your Dreams model, off to see the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, and had a courtesy call with him and his wife. That lasted for about a half an hour on their first day here. Lots of photo ops there. On their first day here in the Bahamas. Now, the next day, Sybil Strawn School. A lot of young students there got the time of their lives and also were able to mingle with the Duchess and the Duke in a way that very few people do. Their message was delivered directly to them, and they sat among them. Of course, the Minister of Education right there to give a message as well, and other education officials. The children all participating in it. There's not been a royal visit since 2015, but as big as this one, not since 2011. A portrait by one of the students for the Queen. And all of the students participated around the country in a virtual performance. And after that, it was downtown to the Cenotaph, where the people who performed outstandingly during the pandemic, the health workers, they were given their kudos from the Duke and Duchess. The pandemic has been rough for the world. Particularly challenging in smaller countries like ours, but we have great professionals who gave their all, and many of them got the chance to actually be thanked for it, for their efforts, by members of the royal family, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Now, we must remember that all of this was because of the Queen's 70th anniversary on the throne, her Platinum Jubilee. So they're here to represent her, and did so quite well, I think. From the Cenotaph, a cultural performance in Rawson Square. Members of bands, and including the Police Force Band, and then a Junkanoo performance, which set us all alive again. It's been years since we've seen John Canoe on Bay Street, and there they were in full force. Yes, and we must remember now, we must remember now that the rain threatened to dampen all of this, but it didn't. It didn't. It shows the grit of the Bahamian people. They continued, and the Royals stayed with it too. Now, it did actually delay the next event a little bit. That was the sailing event, but that actually went on as well. And as you can see, as we look back here, the Duchess taking the time to speak to as many people as she could. Rain or shine. I think they even joked that they brought this inclement weather with them, weather that is more typical of Great Britain than it is of the Bahamas. And ironically that day, the UK was having a heat wave. It's amazing how that is. But there again, you know, the people of the cultural world getting the real chance to show what we do well to the people. Now, after the sailing event, much later that afternoon, it was on to the Bahama resort, where the Duke and Duchess met several dignitaries and ordinary Bahamians in a fun-filled 2-hour reception. They heard from the Bahamas National Youth Choir, who performed fantastically as they usually do, of course under the direction of Dexter Fernanda, and several expats as well as Bahamians, all getting a chance to talk casually with the Duke and Duchess. The Prime Minister made remarks, as well as the Governor General, who actually hosted the reception, and the Prince gave very warm remarks, as well as a warm message from his grandmother, the Queen, whom he represents during this Platinum Jubilee. Well, the next day, it was off, which is today, really. They were off to Abaco. And dressed in pink, pretty in pink, the Duchess and the Prince disembarked the Bahamas Air ATR turbo aircraft. There they met local officials, including members of Parliament. And from the airport, they went to a church that was devastated in Abaco, Daystar Bible Church. There, they spoke with pastors Silbert Mills and Livingston Edwards, and the administrator there as well as other officials. On this trip, of course, they are accompanied by the wife of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne Marie Davis, as well as the High Commissioner to CARICOM, Leslie Bryce, and other officials. Now, you can see they got the chance to actually speak to people who went through the devastation of Hurricane Dorian. One person in particular was a 90-year-old man who gave his experience, and he also gave an historical account of his life in Grand Bahama, and in Abaco, rather. It was an opportune time for the royals to get a true feel of what the Abaco community was like. Silbert Mills there, giving the history of that church, which he used to pastor, and the steps of recovery. And now, after the church, they moved to the Memorial Gardens in Marsh Harbor. There, they actually saw the Wall of Heroes and took part in a service where there was a dedication of a plaque in honor of those who lost their lives in Hurricane Dorian.
In their visit to the Bahamas, the Abacos have a deep and rich history with Great Britain. I am a descendant from one of the first settlers of Hopetown, Abaco, Jacob Adams, who served in the Royal Army. The British Navy were one of the first to come to the aid after the devastating storm of Hurricane Dorian, and we will not forget.
From that solemn experience, they moved to the fish fry, which was much lighter, much more relaxed, and we saw the Duchess actually taking a stab at making conch salad herself. They did try it. She seemed to enjoy it. It seemed to have been a bit spicy for the prince, but you don't get a more Bahamian experience than eating at the fish fry. And as you can see right now, there she is, cutting up that conch. And she seemed quite proficient at it, too. On Abaco, they had the chance to meet and talk with the Bahamian hero from Moores Island, the 400-meter Olympic gold medalist, Stephen Gardner. So it was a double treat for the people of Abaco because their homeboy came back and they met the royals as well. The turnout there was really outstanding. And they spent as much time as possible trying to greet as many people as possible. Now, we have to imagine what this means, this trip as a whole for the Bahamian people, right? They were accompanied by at least 50 journalists from abroad. Every time they took a shot, it's been transmitted around the world. When we think about what the economic impact this could mean for the Bahamas, it could mean millions of dollars for us to come in the future. We see the MP for North Abaco right there. And of course, the people of Abaco excited by that. I don't think they will forget that for a very long time. A lot of interesting accounts they got there in Abaco. And of course, after Abaco, well, for me, I think this was a really good opportunity for the Bahamas to showcase itself. And we, I know there have been some concerns about some people who aren't sure whether we should stay under the monarchy. Maybe we should move into a republic. And that is something that we should actually look at seriously. But it will be up to the Bahamian people to determine whether we should make that move. We, in the meantime, have to remember that the Queen is still the Queen of the Bahamas. And until that changes, until the people decide that they want something different, there won't be anything different. From Abaco, of course, they went to Grand Bahama, and you saw exactly what happened just then. We just finished our broadcast there with Shoshana Roll-Farquharson and team. They actually went to the children's home there, where I understand the Duchess in particular was able to actually have some very warm conversations with the residents of the home. And after that, they went to the Earthshot Prize winners, which is something that the Prince himself launched in 2020. And they got the opportunity to not only see how the operations ran, but also to actually plant mangroves and coral. And after 3 days, that brings our broadcast to an end. We've been delighted to do it for you. It's been very challenging. 3 days, 3 different islands, live, most of it. We hope you've, well, all of it. It's all been live, really. But we hope you've actually enjoyed it. We've enjoyed doing it for you. What you're seeing now is what you expect to see more of from the Broadcasting Corporation in the future. We are your national broadcaster, and we intend to show you why we are. In the meantime, I'd like to thank all of my colleagues who've helped this broadcast become possible, and you will see exactly who those are, those amazing people, as we say good night. God bless the Queen, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future. With investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives, we're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're